Righty-ho. How we doing, folks? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we need to go there. We need to go there. And we need to show you what's happening down here on the floor. Because we've got a very squishy boy who's been waiting very, very patiently for the beginning of the stream to say hello to everyone. Hey, Universe. Hey, Ollie. How are we doing, guys? Right, let's go back to that one. So, today we are going to be... Jesus Christ, the music's loud. Give me a second to adjust the music. Ooh. Keep it high for you guys, and then just lower it down for me. Today we're going to be finishing off the Z-axis. Sorry, not finishing off the Z-axis. We're going to continue where we left off from the Z-axis, which is going to be the Y-axis. Hey Raj, how you doing? Working tomorrow? Working tomorrow? Question mark. Am I working tomorrow? Yes. Sorry, no, I'm off tomorrow. Good, how about me? I'm not too bad. It's hot as hell in here. So if you hear an extra buzzing, it's just because I've had to literally set up a fan, because earlier today it was 30 degrees in the workshop. So, other than that, let's get going. Let's get going with this. I don't want to waste too much time today. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a good Sunday so far. All this crap off my bench. All right, so you guys want to see the manual. All right, so we're doing Y-axis today. I have a mouse for this. So first thing we'll need is to do magnets and then the bearing block. So bearing block, which means I'll need some 608. 608. Where are you, 608? Where art thou? 608. Hello? Where have they gone? Okay, I've got those bearings, but I'm missing my 608. Where did I put them? 608, where are you? Oh my god, it's silly hot in the UK right now. Yeah, it is quite hot. Oh, because I'm starting early. Well, it's a Sunday. I feel like on a Sunday, if I start too late for the American crowd, the British crowd won't be able to watch as well because they've got work the next day. Well, at least most of them do. 608, I found them. All right, so we need one 608 in here. I try and vary my streams between 8 and 9 o'clock starts, just to get as many people from both sides of the pond watching as possible. We're going to need to do some heat inserts, so let's go over to the desk. All right, iron on. Yeah, it's bloody hot in the UK right now. It's hotter here. It's hotter in the UK right now, where I am, than it is back home in Kenya. And that's saying something. All right. Don't forget, because this is polycarbonate, it needs a much higher temperature. So we're doing 310 on the iron today. I need 4 inserts. Gotcha. Probably barbecue weather though. I was meant to go climbing today, but my mate who wanted to go climbing didn't get back to me in time. Jesus, even at 310 these are slow. I'm gonna bump that up to like 340. There we go. I did some extra work. What temp did you print it at? 280. 280 is the print temp for these. I have a feeling my soldering iron doesn't show me the correct temp. It's just a cheapo one. I literally just used this one for heat inserts. so I didn't want to buy anything expensive. I do want to buy like a TS100 at some stage. I don't know whether or not they're worth the money. But I don't know if TS100s are out of date by now. They're not in style anymore. I don't know. I don't really follow soldering irons. That is crazy. That is cool. That it's cooler in Kenya. Yeah, well. And that's not even like up on the plateau in Nairobi, which is the capital, which is actually quite high up and generally is a lot colder. That's down by the coast near Mombasa. Right. Those are in. Now, I do remember having to modify these parts, but I can't remember which one's the modified one. Because these are glass fiber, they're a little less accurate when you're doing a sliding fit. So once this is in, it's probably never going to come back out. So hopefully I get the right one. Is that the right one? Yeah, that looks like it's going in. Oh, God. Right. Yeah, there's no way that's coming back out now. And then, what screws do I need? M3x40s. This is M3x40s. I don't think they're out of date, although there is a TS120, I think. Like I said, don't really follow soldering irons. There could be a TS2000 and I wouldn't know. Oh, you're seeing a rare sight, by the way. This is the most leg I'll ever show. Right? I don't do shorts. Almost ever. I don't like showing my legs to people, so the fact that I'm showing them off right now proves how hot it actually is. Right, those aren't engaging yet, are they? Oh, no, they are. Those are just engaging with the end of the thread now. Yep. I live in the Gulf of Mexico, and it is miserably hot and humid here this time of year. I have to dry filament every time I print. That's how I felt. That's how I feel having to print PETG, especially the carbon fiber stuff, because carbon fiber stuff tends to absorb water between the fibers, not into the actual polymer. So even if you got like carbon fiber ABS, it would still be a problem. You still have that small issue. But because I moved over to PETG just for this, it's been an absolute nightmare keeping everything dry. Sorry, I have to go make some dinner for a bit. I will be back later. No worries, Ollie. See you in a bit. Do the people who live in the Gulf of Mexico still call it the Gulf of Mexico, though? For the majority of people? Or are they all moved over to Trump's way of calling it Gulf of America? I don't know which, if it's a blue state or not that's around the Gulf. Blue states or not that are around the Gulf. Hey, Print Farm. How you doing, man? How are you doing? Now, I don't know why this side is making contact with the inserts, but this side isn't. This side is, this side isn't. These ones have been threaded in fine. Oh, I know why. I know why. There's a little bit of squeeze out. Squeeze out my enemy. If you ever have squeeze out on a bolt, just the easiest thing to do is clear it from the other side. Just get another screw that's the same size and pass it through. That should be enough. Very red states, unfortunately. Yeah, I feel like most of the maker community is quite blue in that way. I've not met anyone in the maker community that actually likes the Republican Party yet. Or if they do like the Republicans, they don't like Trump. There's a very big difference between being a Republican and being pro-Trump. Right. That top one got done. This bottom one going to go. This bottom one's catching. I can feel it. There we go. Awesome stuff. Right, so that's the Y bearing block done. That's the Y bearing block done. And let's move over to the table. Sweet. Right, what's next? What's next? What's next? We have... Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about this last time, but I didn't get too much of a chance. So, there are now some... Let's go to the desk. So, these are the holes that will be on the manual. So, if you see over where it's... where it says on the manual, they are all the end holes. And those are the ones that blind joint into the extrusion below them. These ones below are specifically for a mod, and LDO's included them, they're to blind joint to the column. So the only difference is this should make it a little bit stiffer, not by much compared to what's already there, but it means when you're doing your tramming, instead of doing it from the 90-degree blocks that sit on top, you lift the entire plate up, which is going to be more annoying, but you get an extra bit of stiffness from it. So it's a trade-off, but it's one that I'm going to do today. So what do I need? I will need some M5 T-nuts. I'll need some 90-degree connectors. I'll need some M3x8s, I believe. Yep, M3x8s. Yep, that's about it. Cool. And I only need one of these for this part. And we're going to do the devil horns. Right, so I need 4 at the back, so 4 for the back, 2 for the front. And these are, if it makes your life a little bit easier, these are 20-20 90-degree connectors. So they're 20 across, 20 down, and 20 mil tall. So they're basically just a cube, but cut in half across the hypotenuse. So if you want to measure off of anything, you can eyeball it rather than having to measure specifically. You don't have to get any calipers out or anything. There's nothing in any of the 90-degree assemblies that really requires them. Right, so we'll need 2 on the ends. Has anyone had a look at UK filament prices right now? I wanted to try and restock earlier today, and I wanted to go with glass fiber ABS again because I don't like the glass fiber PETG that I have, and I want some stuff so I can work on Atlas, and it's all glass fiber ABS already. Generally, I've been buying from Bamboo Labs. As much as I hate buying from them, they at one point had the cheapest stuff when you bought it in bulk, so you could buy 10 kilos for 150 bucks. And it was all right stuff. Now, since what's happened with Iran, the prices have finally caught up. £248 for 10 kilos of glass fiber ABS. It's nearly doubled in price. And that's the bulk price. It's rough. It do be rough. Gotcha. Right, what do I need? I need these ones. Is this one for the bottom or for the top? I can't remember. That's for the bottom. So don't need to worry about this just yet. Ouch. Yes, very much ouch. So yeah. Put it like this. If I took all of the money that Patreon gets me for the month, right? In a whole month of saving up, I still would not be able to afford 10 kilos of ABS. I know 10 kilos of ABS is a lot, so to put it in perspective. Just to put it in perspective, it's a bit ridiculous me going, oh, I'll buy 10 kilos of ABS every single month. Normally it lasts me like a month and a half. Luckily, I still have 5 kilos of glass-filled ABS from Bamboo, but it's red. And it was meant to be the accent color for that. It's still going to be the accent color for that, but I still need the plain color. And considering each axis takes 3 kilos, each y-axis takes 3 kilos, yeah, it ain't cheap. Alright, nice. I do want to get as much done this stream as possible. That's all he said. Hey, I'm back. I missed last stream, but why have you got Atlas out? Been working on it. It's just Atlas has always been out. You just haven't seen it because Casita has been hiding it. It's always been here. But I was doing some moving around of things, so I moved the Prusa over to the printing side of the room. And I had a bunch of space here that I wasn't using, and I thought, okay, if I put Atlas there, it's going to kind of force me to actually do some work on it. Which it has. I've done a bunch of CAD on it since. I've been thinking of doing a CAD stream, but there's something about me that just goes, CAD streams would be so boring to watch. Just watching Brisket. Brisket is not a calm dog. He's very much a high energy, high cuddle drive dog. But he is still as a rock right now, which is why he's actually in stream today. And I'm a bit worried about him because of it. And because of how hot it is. He's had ice cubes in his water all day. He doesn't feel overly hot. He's not panting or anything. I'm just worried about him. For this piece here, one side is threaded in 2 points. The other side is threaded in no points. Sorry, in 4 points. So the 4-pointed one goes this way. How would that go? It goes... Where's the bearing lock? No, it's the 2-pointed one goes this way. Yeah. So 2-point goes towards the end of... in the same direction as the two 90-degree connectors. Poor Brisket, it is so hot. Yeah. I'm worried though, because he's usually the type of dog who goes and lays himself in the sun. If I'm away and I look on the little dog camera I have for him, if I'm at work or whatever, I'm checking in on him. He's always lying wherever the sun is coming through the shades. So for him to be hot is a rare thing. But then again, it has been so cold most of this year, up until now, that maybe it's just because it was cold back then. I don't know. I'm trying not to worry about it. Next up. So, C-beam comes on top with the C-beam facing upwards. And then line it up with the ends. Gotcha. Okay. It's going to be a little bit easier if I do that for now. And then just put C-beams on the ends. Sorry, not C-beams. Put the T-slots on the end. Raj, I used to have a paddling pool for Buddy. Oh, nice. I wish I could have a paddling pool for him, but he hates water. And B, I live in a flat, so it's not quite possible. I do get him like wet towels and things like that just to cool him down on really, really hot days. And like I said before, he gets ice in his bowl, and he occasionally gets to chew on ice as well. Or I'll freeze chicken stock or something for him. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm trying to go back through the CAD in my mind for this machine, but it's been nearly 7 or 8 months since I last made a CAD change. Like a good, decent, full spec CAD change. So trying to remember everything that I've done and how things go together can be a bit difficult sometimes. Even when you're the one who designed the thing. Okey-doke. So I need M3x12s because those are the blind jointed versions. And put this to the side for now. So anything that goes into a blind joint or into the end of an extrusion is M5x12. Anything that goes into a T-nut from the side is M5x10. be 2 on top. Oh, that's not true. Actually, when it comes to a corner, a 90-degree corner bracket, those are M5 by 8s, but not always. So I'd always double check that. You're doing your assembly. Ollie, do you want anything else before I send your stuff? You saying you were low on end mills? I've got an LDO kit I'm not using for end mills, if you want them. It's not a full LDO kit. One of them's missing. And I am going to keep the chamfer mill, but I can get you a couple of... If you're still in chat, I can get you a couple of end mills. Because I know you're still missing yours from when they broke in. We forgot to do this last time. There we go. So you guys can actually see a little bit more what I'm doing. Some M5 by 8 goes into the 90-degree connectors. Yeah, so normal M5 by 8s when it's going into a T-nut. Sorry, normal 90-degree connectors when they go into T-nuts on either side, those are M5 by 8s. Most of the M5s that go into T-nuts are M5 by 10. There are a few special occasions where longer bolts go into the corner connectors, and blind joints tend to be M5 by 12. I mean, if you have spare ones, you've got for free. That would be super sweet. If you get any free collets, 90% of my collection was taken. What collet sizes do you need? I have some spare 6s, and if you're wondering if I have enough end mills, that drawer is completely full of end mills. So I don't use the LDO ones either because they're more expensive for me to get. So I just buy the ones from DMS here in the UK. Shout out to DMS and Dave. He will be stocking a few V2s at some stage, from what I have been told. Oh, actually. I need more corner connectors. I need more corner connectors. I need more power, Scotty. Yeah, I've got tons. Feel free to take some. Is there anything particular that you need? I have some spare 6mm and some spare 3mm collets. Right. Those. I saw that Rapid Change making carousel. They've had a carousel for a while. They've had carousels for a while. Are you talking about like a turret type thing? Or are you talking something else? If you're talking something else, just link it in stream chat, in stream general, and we will have a quick look at it. I did some redesigns to the tool setter as well today. Nothing major. I just like the look of it a little bit better. So that's the old one. That's the one that everyone knows and loves. That's the new one. It's basically the same thing. It's a little bit shorter this way, a little bit longer that way. And it has a bolt to make electrical connection with the what's it called? The standard. So you put a pin in here and that's your standard offset. So when you're doing your 3D probing and setting up a place for the probe to go and touch off of as a reference point, you can make it an electrical connection with a multimeter and then attach the other end of the multimeter to your carbide. And once they touch the plates, you've got your exact Z height. And that's literally the only change I've made to it. Yeah, I saw that too. I went, that spice rack. Yeah, but Rapid Change is not even a good product. Like, they would not work for Milo mills. Yeah, well, just because they don't work on Milos don't mean they're not good products. I don't know. I've never used Rapid Change. I can't comment on it. And we kind of use exactly the same technology for, if slightly different, from what Rapid Change has done. So it feels like if I called Rapid Change bad, I would call ourselves bad because we're using their tech or a very similar version of their tech. I have asked the LDO if they want to do like an ATC kit. They might do a spice rack kit, but they won't be doing a 4-pack kit because to them it's not a big enough product with enough parts in it to warrant making a full kit. Yeah, this makes sense. They've got to make their margins at the end of the day. If they aren't making their margins, if they don't have enough stuff to put in the kit, they're not going to make enough of a margin on it. Especially since Spice Rack is literally, sorry, 4-pack is literally just a bunch of bearings, some printed parts and some bolts. And some springs. You wouldn't even be able to supply collets for it because you need to, you could possibly do like one set of collets, I suppose, like a common set, like two 3s and two 6mm collets. But even then, it's going to change depending on what your use case is. So you may not even end up using those collets. And again, if LDO is stopping doing carbide, which they are because carbide prices are ridiculous right now, then what's the point in them stocking collets? Oh no, so I like it. I need to get a tool setter with a reference surface because my fixated was off my machine and in parts boxes because I was cleaning it down and it happens to be a stolen box. Oh, sorry, man. I would argue from what I have seen from you guys with the tool changer, the mechanism is very different compared to rapid changes. Rapid changes do not hit any torque specs. Okay, well, other than Roomba, we've never actually tested a torque spec with it yet. So it's part of the plan. We're going to. But you got to remember that what you've seen so far is Bright's version of the ER20 collet, which is a bigger thread. It's a completely different thread, which means that it's further away. The actual turning points are further away. The way the torque is being applied is further away, and there's more leverage on it, so you can get them tighter easier. That doesn't mean it's going to translate to an ER16 collet, right? There's less leverage on an ER16 collet because the diameter is smaller. So we don't know yet if it's going to be working that way. We know the ER20 version of it worked, but that ER20 version was an early prototype. It was a very good early prototype. Bright did some amazing work there. But it's still a prototype. Hopefully now that I've got a machine that I can actually mess around with, I'm going to be able to mess around with, I can start helping Alan with the 4-pack. I know it sounds like I'm kind of putting down my own product here, but I'm not. I'm just saying there's a process of testing that needs to be done, and we haven't done it yet. I hate multi-point blind joints because you have to go back and forth between each bolt to snug it up. You have to do that like 5 times. There you go. Are you still working on the slam stall tightening? Yeah. It's going to be the same thing. Apart from the space it takes from the work area, what are the advantages of the 4-pack and the spice rack? The main advantage is that they're ATCs and that you don't need to change your tools manually. So the spice rack takes more tools. I think it's 6 tools. It's either 6 or 8 tools. I can't remember off the top of my head. And the idea is that it's effectively a separate axis. It's a rotational axis. So you're able to have a lot more tools in a lot smaller of a space, and it take up less space on the table. The 4-pack is just simple. It's the most simple ATC version, but the downside is you get less tools for it. And you're a bit more rigid in what tools you can use. Like, you could set up a spice rack probably some way. I can imagine a couple ways you'd set it up for oversized tooling. So for like face mills and things like that, you could probably cut out a slot for it where once you've engaged, you can then pull it out through the side. You can't do that on a 4-pack. A 4-pack is meant to be the minimum amount of effort to get to the most value. So you don't need to worry about having an extra axis. You've just got the lid that shuts and closes. You have 4 tools. You've got your roughing, your finishing, your small tool, and your chamfer bit. Or if you use the same tool for roughing and finishing, so you got your roughing finishing tool, which is like 6mm tool, a 3mm tool or a smaller tool, a chamfer mill, and then a specialty tool. So say you're using a thread mill or something like that, right? That's the whole idea of having 4 tool bays. Whereas you can do a lot more with a spice rack. You could have 3 specialty tools with different thread sizes on them. You could have a roughing and a finishing mill that are 2 completely different tools. It's a lot more flexible. But with that extra flexibility comes the fact that it's a whole lot less simple and it's going to be a whole lot more expensive. ATCs aren't cheap things. You buy a decent collet, and it'll cost you $10. You need a collet for every single size tool that you're using. So if you want to use 2 or 3 different 5mm or 6mm tools, you need 2 or 3 different collets. That's $30 right there. That's just the collets. Then you'll need the nuts themselves. The nuts are another $10 each for decent ones. For ER16, maybe even $15. So just in the tooling alone, you are spending, sorry, just in the fixtures alone, before you even get to tooling, you're spending like nearly $80. That's just for a 4-pack. They use the same ultralight. The ultralight, yeah, it's the ultralight 17 board. You don't need to use the ultralight board. So the thing that the ultralight board gets you is an extra driver. It gets you an extra driver, and that's it. That's basically the only reason we use it. It's a CAN connected driver. If you don't have a 4th axis, you can use the driver off of where the 4th axis would be. It just depends how you set it up. The whole point of having the CAN board is so that if you wanted to drive both, you could, because there's only 4 drivers. Sorry. There's only 4 drivers on Silo. If you want to drive the main Milo, which is 3 axes, a 4th axis, and then you'll also need an extra driver board, a driver just for either the 4-pack or the spice rack. Both of them require a 5th driver if you've got the 4th axis. If you don't have the 4th axis, just use the one that's on the board. You don't need it. You don't need to get an N17. And I still consider Impact Lightning. It was, but yeah. They saying, are you buying gold-plated nuts? I got 5 for 20 on Amazon. Yeah, and they're shit. I'm sorry, mate. I don't buy anything but at least AA rated collet nuts. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. I've had 0.5 mil of run out just on collets. Just on shitty collets. I don't buy anything that's not decent when it comes to collets themselves. Tooling, I will go as cheap as I can get it. Collets, on the other hand, there's a reason you have so much... that people have so many surface issues. It's because they cheap out on that kind of stuff. Don't buy collets on Amazon. They're shit. Are you buying? No. Oh, you read that. Gotcha. Alright, this can be slid in here now. So, probably worth loosening these up a little bit. More A is better or less? Yes, better. You can get triple A's. You can go all the way down to no A. And those are like the ones that you buy from Amazon. Off of Amazon, sorry. That's locked in now, so I don't need to worry about falling out. Gotcha. Anyways. Anyone got any cool projects lined up? At some stage, I am going to start getting ready for the winter climbing season again. And I'm going to try my hand at getting some T-rated tooling, some T-rated ice axe tooling sorted. I do have my own ice axe, my climbing axes already, but it'd be a fun project to make my own. Where do you get the nuts? I buy them from, it depends. Most of the time I buy them from DMS, just because they have the ones that LDO sells still, and the LDO ones are AA, I think. Haha, nuts. You child. I mean, we're all children here, but it doesn't stop me from pointing it out. Ollie, you still haven't told me what size tooling you need. Or what size collets you want. Print farm. Next project is CNC my mini lathe. Oh yeah, I saw that. That looked cool. Not the mini lathe I was expecting. I thought you were going to get one of the more modern, like Vivo style ones. But that thing is a proper mini lathe. Almost kind of looks like a watchmaker's lathe. It's a teeny weeny lathe. Oh yeah, sorry dude, I am not that fussy. Anything you have lying around, you got for free would be really sweet. I just want to get back to milling in projects. You said nuts a lot last stream, but I kept lost in the first half of the stream. I like nuts, okay? Don't you judge me. Oh, speaking of which, last week my parents were around, and because one of the big exports from Kenya is cashew nuts, I got 3 kilos of cashew nuts. And I have a mate of mine at work who loves them. She's constantly buying them from the little snack counter that we have. And they're like 2 pounds, so roughly $3 for a tiny little pack like that. So I showed up one day with this 1 kilo bag in my hand, and just the look on her face. And it cost my parents like, I don't know, $15 USD for that one packet, for that 1 kilo packet. Right. That's a lot of nuts. Send half my way. Maybe one day. Right, so this is the bit of the manual I'm not going to be following, because it's going to involve the Z-axis for me, whereas for you guys, if you're not doing this mod, it won't involve the Z-axis for you. So I'm going to be blind jointing that section, that front section there. Which means loading a bunch of M5 by 12s. M5 by 12s over here. So I need 8 of these. So that's 7, 8. Lead 1 at the top. I believe this is correct spacing. Ignore this bottom row. You don't need to install any of them on the bottom row. Cashew nuts are better in Nigeria. I'm sure they are, man. They're also better in Kenya. I can't think of a bunch of small boat fittings. I can think of a bunch of small boat fittings I would like to mill. Ooh. When you say boat fittings, do you mean big yacht or do you mean like sailing boats? Or are you just really tricking out your canoe for the season, for the summer? Pimp my canoe. Oosh, 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 oosh. Flame pinstripes all the way down your paddle. Put a bunch of weights in the very back of the canoe so that the front is going like that. You're wheeling a canoe. Jake, any ideas on where I can pick up a fixator cheap? Using T-nuts for work holding is a pain. I don't know where you can pick one up for cheap, but DMS still has a few on sale, I think. Right, I am going to use one of these just as a blocker. So if I put the M5x8 ones and the corner connectors there. Need my last 4 corner connectors. Small sailboat, cool. Anything would work, but cheap, so probably a V1. Do I have one? I think I've got one. I'll have a look around. I think I might have one. I might have one that I just... Oh, I've got one on the V... I do have one, actually, but it's on the V1.6. The guy who won the V1.6, he hadn't used it the entire time he'd had it, so he'd had it for about 5 months. He wasn't very big into the DIY, even 3D printing side of things, so we offered to trade him for some 3D printer filament, so he got like 5 kilos of PLA. And we got V1.6 back, so that's in the container right now. I don't think I'll be giving away big machines again in future. I think we're going to stick to like smaller prizes. Or if big machines are being given away, it'll be given away by a company and we'll just be doing the draw on their behalf. Is the ballast installed? Nope. I'm waiting on some epoxy and some sand to arrive. I'm fine doing that installation afterwards. It makes a difference, but it doesn't make so much of a difference that I'm putting the whole build on hold for it. I've got a little bit of epoxy. I've got a little bit of the right kind of epoxy for it, but probably not enough. Here I was thinking of scoring the Atlas. There's no kit's going to be made of Atlas. People forget this. Like, Atlas is too big of a machine to send overseas a lot of the time. Most of the time. Ooh, Universe, I started watching Chainsaw Man last night. I'm not a big fan of the main character, but the animation's dope. We invented teleporter. Yeah, you only need to take off the channel. That's cool. Ophir, I will trade you 5 kilograms of filament for it back if you want. I looked at the fixated on DMS, but it was £90. I don't really have that kind of money to spend on a plate right now. Nice, I'm waiting for season 2. Yeah, man, we'll work something out. We will work something out. Sounds like you really got it rough lately, dude. Yeah, but it's the one thing that he wants that I don't like. I don't like the ultra horniness of a lot of anime. That's why I love anime that's like Violet Evergarden and Frieren and all that stuff. That's my jam. JJK is all right. I'm not a super fan of it. I feel like the magic system is a bit all over the place. AOT is still my prime. My favorite one of all time. But that's a bit basic, I suppose. Demons of the Shadow Realm isn't too bad. Full Metal Alchemist is pretty good. He's not Senji. Yeah. There's a reason I stopped watching Fire Force as well. Because it just got a bit... eh. It feels awkward to watch at times. AOT, meh. I know a lot of people feel that way about AOT. You're entitled to your own opinion. It's my life, man. It just feels like everything in my garage is falling apart right now. I had my VFD go a few days ago as well, so got to replace that. Also, running printed plates again is not fun. They just don't work the same as Ali ones. Yeah. There is kind of a... The nice thing about working on a 3D printer is you can always make an impermanent change on a 3D printer with 3D printed parts. You can't really do that on a mill. Some parts just have to be metal. And you just can't get away with that without that. Gotcha. Right. That's that. Almost done. just made a really stupid mistake. I forgot to load the T-nuts. So this has got to come off. Well, actually no. They don't need. This doesn't need to come off. There is a way. Something else will come off, but.
Was that for me?
Alexa, shut up. I was not talking to you. Come on, bud. Let's let you out. Let you out. There you go. You go chill in the cool air. Go chill by the window. Alexa, living room lights on.
Okay.
The thing that really gets me is I had so many random parts in a box, like maybe 1.6 plates, and then some absolute idiots decide that they want that, which is just going to go in the bin. That's how that works. People who come in to steal things don't care about what they're stealing, because to them, they can always find the value of it later. They think they can always find the value of it later, or they think that something looks like it would cost a lot of money because they have no idea what it is. And there are also some people in this world who just like stealing things. They don't actually care about anything else other than the theft and the feeling that it gives them. And in a way, I kind of feel sorry for them. But in another way, I really don't. My parents are in Istanbul right now. And they keep sending me a million photos. Like, I'm glad you guys are having fun, but I really don't care about your trip. Honestly, I think it must have been awful fun for stealing, because unless you know what you're doing, what is a bunch of milled parts and a Voron worth to idiots? Who knows? They might be Voron enthusiasts. They might be 3D printing enthusiasts. You might find a serial request for your Voron in the next few days. I know I'm joking about something that's all absolutely horrible, so I'm sorry about that part. I am genuinely sorry that that happened to you. But you gotta try look at the bright side of this kind of thing. At least no one got hurt. At least physically. Oh my god, I would be so angry, but I would see the funny side of it. Yeah. You've got to see the funny side of this kind of stuff, these kind of things. You've got to, otherwise you're never gonna recover from it, and it'll scar you for life. And that's the worst thing that a thief can do for you, is make you scared for the rest of your life. When I started my build, the ASA I got for it was stolen. In the 2 hours it was delivered, and I went looking for it. That's rough. Did you get a refund? I found the package by the bus stop at the side of my unit. Nice. At least you got it back. I'm lucky where I live right now. I wasn't always lucky about where I live, but right now I am quite lucky because theft is so low in my area. Like I had the Core 1L outside my house for 18 hours before I got home. And I knew it was going to be home when I got back. But that's the difference between living in a small town and living in a big city or a big metro area. And you don't always get the choice of where you live. Some people will be like, oh, if you don't like it, then leave. You're not always able to do that. It takes money to leave, unfortunately. It's not like the olden days where you could just pack up what you had and get on the next bus. Oh, the package was empty. Ah, sorry, man. At least you got your refund. Right. I need 1, 2, 3, 4 for that side. And then I'll need 1, 2, 3. Only 1, 2? I think I only need 2. Yeah, I think LDO sent a bunch of extras. Can't think of another part of this that needs that. I'm sure it'll come up later. Right, what are we on for likes? What do we got for likes? What do we got for likes? So far, only 3 likes on the stream. There's 12 people in chat, but only 3 likes. God damn it! I thought you guys said you promised you weren't gonna let me down anymore. Nah, I'm joking. If you could like the stream, that would be really helpful. It means that it gets shown to more people on YouTube. And the more likes you have, the more likely people are going to come and actually watch the content. And then we have loads more fresh faces in the chat to talk with. Hey, if you haven't already, a subscribe also helps me immensely. The more people that get subscribed to me, the more people that will know when I go live, and the more watch hours we can get. I see 7. 7 is still not 12, though. Oh, and Jake, once I get my machine back up and running, I am nearly done with the final CAD for the Pro Baby to see. I was working on. Oh, cool. Refreshing tab now shows 9. Cool. See? Asking nicely does get you something. It does get you stuff in life. I've done it again. Gonna have to take all these corner connectors off because I need to get access. I need those holes to get access to the bolts that actually slide into the axis. Nope. Alright, that's going to be put on the side. At least the T-nuts are in the right location. No, no, I haven't. Please don't tell me I've stripped a bolt. There we go. Nope. Oh no. Please don't tell me I've stripped this. Fuck. Pardon my French, but fuck. I've stripped 2. God damn it. Let me strip another. God damn it. How have I done that? I haven't even taught these down. Right. Zero tooling. There we go. That's one of the strip ones out. Putting that to the side. Thank fuck for tapered tools. Thank fuck for tapered Allen wrenches. God damn it. Those are the ones I mentioned using longer screws than 12 millimeters. They're not 12 mil. They're M5 by 30s. Don't know what you're kind of getting on there, bud. There aren't any M5 by 12s there at all. These are M5 by 8s because if they weren't M5 by 8s, they would hit the bottom of the extrusion. Right. Let's do this. Let's assemble this sideways for now. Start. Let's get these a little tighter first so I don't need to worry about it. I thought you were referring to the screws that go into the column. The screws that go into the column... Oh yeah, gotcha. I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, there's no point in making them longer than that because they're not there to... The thread that goes into the side of the column is not a load-bearing thread. It's only there to stop lateral movement or sliding movement up the channels. So if you make them longer, they don't increase any strength. There's no point in making them longer. I stripped the first 2 threads, so I had to go longer and get... God damn it. Universe! Please don't get auto-banned by YouTube. I've still got the YouTube moderator thing on. Speaking of which, I haven't seen my Stream Elements bot in a while. I need to get that sorted for next stream. Add that to the list. Oh, do you like my... You can't read this, but this is me and my girlfriend tier listing different cereals the other day. I say the other day, it was yesterday. This needs to move across a little bit. Where's my hammer gone? I had a little mallet that you'd use to tap things into place, but I can't find it. I haven't been able to find it for 2 days. Must have moved it somewhere. No, that's way off. I promise that was not on purpose. Yeah. Whatever you say, bud. So when it comes to tramming now, you're tramming between these 2 points here, rather than tramming where the 90-degree connectors would be and shimming under there. Now shimming under this place here, which should mean stiffness is increased by quite a bit. No, these do need to be longer, don't they? What size do they need to be? Ones that go into the side of the column. Yeah, so those are the M5x12s you're talking about. Damn it. I really am doing this in the wrong order today, aren't I? That's going to have to come off again, isn't it? Isn't it? Follow the downwrap manual. Read the fucking manual. So, M5x6s. No, so I don't need to take them off. So these are M5x30s that I need to go down the side. So that can stay tight. So I wasn't wrong. I was just not right. 5x30s. Right, let's do a quick cleanup before this gets out of hand. I end up having little bits everywhere. That's pretty neat. When I save up my cache, I think I'll buy the parts again and upgrade to V1.6. Nice. I don't think anyone's done the V1.4 to V1.6 upgrade. pretty sure it's possible. Can't remember anyone who's done it though. Right. So these can go like that. I need to get some M3x30s. No, sorry, I mean for my V1.5. I gave away my V1.4 a few months ago. I had all the parts to upgrade V1.5 before the break-in. It's not essential, but nice. Oh yeah. Gotcha. Oh, that's a lot stiffer already. Loving the Prusa orange. Yeah, I love the orange from Prusa. It's a pity I couldn't get it in a glass fiber filled one. A lot of the glass fiber filled anythings are a little bit whiter, a little bit milkier in their colors, a little less saturated. But I think that's just, you know, part of it being, of having glass fiber in it, is it you can't get it to look exactly the same as the non-filled variants. That was kind of one of the reasons why I decided to flip a bunch of the colors. So this would generally be the non-accent color, and everything. I've flipped a bunch of the color schemes around just to make it look a little bit nicer and to try and get as much out of the PCCF as possible. Very nice. Alright, so what's up next? I'm going to leave these two middle corner connectors off, because when it comes to tramming, I'm going to need to get down at the bottom anyway. But I still need to do the ones that go into the column. And they, at this point, they won't be producing much, they won't be changing much force anyway. Once I've got it trammed, I'll stick them on. So they're not contributing enough to the structure of the machine anymore, now that we've got the blind hole mod. Whereas the two end ones actually do contribute to the structure. What's the benefit of glass filled? So glass filled versus non-glass filled anything is it's stiffer. Any fiber filled material tends to be stiffer, but the actual strength of the part goes down. So if I were to throw a glass filled part on the floor, the likelihood of it breaking through impact is higher, but the stiffness of the material is also much higher. So it's kind of a trade-off, right? The material also tends to get a little bit heavier when you put glass filled in. When you're using glass filled versus carbon filled, there's something worth remembering. Glass filled will always be able to, because it's just heavier, it's a heavier fill than carbon fiber is, it's a little bit better at absorbing vibrations than a carbon filled would be. Because most composite materials like carbon fiber are very, very bad at absorbing vibrations. They like to propagate vibrations a lot more. So in a CNC machine where you want to keep the total amount of vibrations down as much as possible, a glass filled would be a better option to go with. And glass filled tends to be a lot cheaper than carbon filled as well. So if you're the best part of a carbon filled material is it tends to be a little bit lighter. So if you're building a if you're building a 3D printer and you want a really nice effector or y-axis or hot end or this, that, and the next thing, it's a lot better for you. But with the advent of milled parts on 3D printers, how common they're becoming, you can get a lot stiffer of a gantry or whatever you're trying to build with a CNC part, because you can remove 90% of the material. So even though it's a metal part and metal is denser than plastic, to get the same amount of strength, you need a lot less of the metal part, if that makes sense. So you can remove 90% of the volume of the part, get it to be lighter than the plastic part, and still be 3, 4, 5, 6 times stronger even than a 3D printed part would be. Right, that's done now. Oh, just flip this around so you guys can actually see what's going to be happening next. What does the manual say? Right, so bearing block now. Bearing block, bearing block, bearing block. Where did we put you? I put you over here. So I need to put some M3T nuts in. Hey Steve, how you doing, bud? How are you doing? Looked like there was a load of people. Did other Steve's stream just end, I'm guessing? Because we had a load of people come over and then a load of people leave. So I'm guessing Steve's stream just ended, or someone else's stream just ended. And they popped you out over here, and then, yeah. Good, thanks. You keeping well? No, not yet. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm keeping well. It's hot in here. It's bloody hot in here. And another reason carbon-filled materials are a bit of a pain to work with is because the tolerance that you put on the parts to work with normal ABS now suddenly doesn't work anymore. So, there we go. Everything's just a little bit more stretched than usual. That's what she said. I need some M3x10s. Yeah. It's bloody hot. It's really, really humid at the minute. I'm dying a little bit. Brisket's good. Everyone else is doing fine. We're having a great time on stream. At least I think so. Yeah, we're all good. Why I still don't recommend people don't use carbon-filled parts just as a standard, or glass-filled parts, or any fiber-filled part, because there are lots. You'll feel yourself getting a lot more frustrated with the build when things aren't fitting the way that they should. Especially don't do it with Voron parts, because Voron parts are designed to have some flexure in them. Whereas if I tried to design parts for flex in them, I would be doing the opposite of designing good parts for CNC machines. I'd be designing quite bad parts for CNC machines. sakes. Come on. Jesus Christ. They're so stiff. Move you back. Hey Jake, what do you think of milling activity? For the Discord? Of a milling activity for the Discord? What do you mean a milling activity for the Discord? What do you mean a milling activity for the Discord? Do we not already do milling activities on the Discord? Considering it's a Discord dedicated to making milling machines? Something like geometry. Oh, yeah. We've tried it. We've tried it. The thing is, you're not going to beat... You're going to make worse products, more than likely. Not you specifically, but just people who are interested in it. You're probably going to make worse products, and it's going to be more expensive for you than getting it from like JLC. And then there's also the upper layer of it being quite a lot of work for the dev team to have to oversee this all. Because if we're going to have it as an official thing, then we will make sure that everyone is making parts to a certain standard. And if that standard's not met, then you don't get the ability to do it. You don't get the ability to be part of the program. We had a myth program once in a while. Once upon a time. And there's loads of people who say that they want to do it, and then they produce maybe one set of parts, and then say that they're really busy and they don't want to do it, and this, that, and the next thing. There's a reason, like the Voron Pith guys are hardcore into the community. They've proven themselves over time. And they get vetted beforehand. It makes no sense for us to do it. It's like everyone who buys a 3D printer saying that they're going to make money out of it. You know? Yeah, you could technically make some money out of it if you tried really hard. But realistically, you're not making a dime. Realistically, there are 50,000 other people who have thought the same idea, and they've either got a proper print farm with 15 to 20 printers already, or they've got products that they design themselves, and it just so happens that the 3D printers are the things that the products are made on. That's how you start a 3D printing farm. You don't go online and start selling dragons and things that other people have designed. You design your own thing that just so happens to be manufactured on a 3D printer. And the same goes for CNC milling. If I wanted to CNC mill a whole kit at home, it would cost me more than it would be to buy it from JLC. And JLC's tolerances would be a lot higher. It's a fun event, not something strict like that. I was thinking like you come up with a design and anyone interested can take part in it. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so like a speed benchy thing. I thought you were talking about a myth program where like someone orders a part from you and you try and fulfill the part. Hey, Tal, what's the pricing? What will the pricing be for the kit? We talked about it a couple streams ago. I think we worked it out as something around about just under £2,000 for everything. think it was like 1,600 for the mill itself, and then another 400 for the eBay. Something along those lines. I can't remember off the top of my head though. I normally refuse payment when someone asks me to print something unless it's uses a lot of filament. When I just get them to buy, then I just get to buy a new roll. Exactly. I actually do have a program for quoting prints, and unless you're including labor, you're not making any money. It's the labor that gets you the money. The labor is the single highest cost in any 3D printing or not organization. Job. Right. Do I have it on here? Do I have my 3D printing polymatrix, my little sheet? Drive, Google Drive, Google Drive, Google Drive. Print quotes. Right, I'll show you what I use to quote customers whenever I have them for things like this. Is this the new one? Or is this the old one? Is this the old one? There we go. It's all loading in now. So this is what I use for doing print quotes for people. I based this off of Stefan. This was originally Stefan's CNC kitchen quoting engine, but his was really, really, really basic. So this accounts for lots of things. This accounts for how many times you're taking a build plate off the printer every job. It accounts for if you have slicing time, and if you've got the slicing time one in Stefan's version of it, always accounted for every single time. For every single time you print something, you're also putting slicing time on it. If you're doing a big order, however, most of the time you're not doing any you're not adding the slicing time. You're just adding the time it takes for you to press a button to repeat it. So you don't need to do that. Then I've also added the ability to do manual color changes if you want them, add support removal time. All of this is stuff that you set up in here. So anything that's in red is just a table that you don't want to touch because it's how it does a bunch of the other calculations in here. But there's also things like if you want to hit a minimum amount of money per hour, which is a lot of the time how you want to run a 3D printing business. You want to be making, say, $1 an hour, $3 an hour, whatever, for every hour of printing. I have a little reminder in here that you can place a checkbox on so that it reminds you, it tells you if you're not making enough money. And a lot of the time, if you're just pricing all willy-nilly, it will tell you you're not making a profit here. I actually do need to do a proper breakdown of how this calculator works, because it even generates invoices for you. You can load up your printer, all the different materials that you use. Each one of these different colors is a different printer that you're using, not necessarily a different amount of plates that you're using. It also generates a breakdown as to what all your costs are. So for example, for the kind of breakdown I have here, which is 100 grams printed in an hour or 3 hours there, the majority of the cost is labor. All this yellow here is labor. Okay, slightly more than V1.5, yes. Maybe complicated. That flood coolant enclosure for Miley design is rad. That flood coolant enclosure for Miley's design is rad. What do you mean? I'm confused. What flood cooler? What flood coolant? I'm so confused. At work, I hate when I ask, would you print something for me? I'm currently making someone a gold crown for hen night made of male members. Oh, gross. Check Stream General. Ooh. Hey guys, had some very cool idea for my enclosure for Miley. Since the Miley only moves the y-axis table, it would be possible to build a very compact enclosure for it. With a correct sealing, this could make it waterproof. Use coolant pump. Yeah. I mean, let's put this on screen. It's a cool concept. How well it would work, though, I don't know. I have a suspicious feeling that this would be very, very floppy if it was all 3D printed. And like that span there is not going to fit on most 3D printers. I like the idea of it, but this whole table is still going to be moving back and forth. So this enclosure still needs to be longer that way. Like, there's still a load of this, that like this back panel can't physically exist. It physically can't exist, this back panel here, because that would be moving forward as the table moved forward. So this whole back panel would need to move backwards. And by the time you've made enough space at the back for it to come all the way to the front, I don't think it would be 3D printed. Okay, fair. But it doesn't get rid of the issue of this would still make it the requirement for Milo, for any Milo, is the fact that you need quite a deep bench for it. This just makes the bench requirement deeper, because this distance here is how much you would need to push this back wall backwards, and that's going to be coming over, that's going to push it further back. So instead of needing an 800mm deep table, which is what you need for a Casa, you're then probably going to need a meters deep table just to get it to fit. And then that's all that extra weight being thrown around as well. And then when this moves forward, when this whole thing moves forward, this gap here gets wider. And then you don't have a seal anymore. That's a good point. Enclosure should be stationary. I would bring the clear portion forward and make it stationary. Yeah. Yeah, that would make more sense to me. But at that point, why not just reduce everything here to a box around the plate? Why do you need all this space? So like all this space here is unnecessary. All of this is unnecessary. All you need is a box that goes around just the plate. And you'd still be able to achieve what I think they're trying to achieve here with a recirculating pump. But all this is just, it works in one position, but it doesn't work in multiple positions. Like, let's see. Semi-enclosed mill enclosures. No. Jeremy Fielding Mill. Jeremy Fielding, he does a bunch of robotic stuff, but he's basically just got a box. I know he's got an upgraded mill now, but he's basically just, on his old mill that he CNC'd, it was basically just a box that was in front of it. Better for chip management and coolant. I don't see how it would be better for coolant because you're just opening it up for more places for the coolant to not leak back down, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Anyways, don't really want to get into watching videos on stream. Right, let's get back to building. We're getting distracted. We're getting way too distracted. Right. So it's come to that time of stream where we need to do some stuff. Last stream I said that I was going to be doing one of the anti-backlash nuts every single stream, just so that I could show you guys how it all goes together and give you as many chances to see how that works, how that whole process works. So we're going to do that again right now. Better chip management, check the video before. Didn't mean to sidetrack. No, it's fine. D, don't worry, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't mind a little bit of a sidetrack every now and again. It's a cool concept, don't get me wrong. I just think it could be thought out a little bit better. It needs a little bit more time in the oven. So, from last time, just to remind the people, there is a input for grease. Because of the way that these are made, because they're made of metal, you can't just design a port that goes all the way through it because drills don't bend. Well, they do, but they're not meant to. So there's one drill hole through there, one drill hole through there, and to stop coolant from leaking out, you need to put a grub screw in the bottom. You need to make sure that that is absolutely flush, so that it doesn't interfere when you're putting the plate on. Then you're going to need some brass nuts. Not the fun kinds, just these kinds. So these are TR8 nuts. One of them goes in the compression plate and uses M3 by 10 screws to hold it down. There we go. Why are you making that face, Onyeka? What's being said? What are you keeping quiet about? Why do I feel like I'm missing something? Jake, did LDO ever work on their Vice? My SW Vice clone was taken at some point looking for a new Vice. They haven't told me anything about it. I still have the old version, but the old version is completely aluminium, and I told them, well, that's not really good enough. It needs to at least have steel jaws on it, otherwise it's not going to last very long. They said that they told someone a while back that they were working on it. They were reworking the idea. Whether or not it's coming in the kit, I don't know. It didn't come with my kit. I asked first for your spare. I'm keeping that Vice, guys. I'm keeping it for a rainy day. No one's getting it. What part for aluminium? The whole body's aluminium. The whole thing is aluminium. It needs to have at least steel jaws. It doesn't have steel jaws. Okey-doke. Once you've got these bits on, the brass nuts on, you need to take the partially threaded cylindrical pins. You just need 2 of them, and this is what the compression plate is going to ride on to keep it in the right orientation. And they go on the main body part, and you'll need a small flathead screwdriver just to tighten them down all the way. Thank you, Dave from LDO, for introducing me to these pins. I have used them in a few projects now, and they're great. Right. Now, once this is on, it'll slide the compression plate on like that, and it'll prevent the compression plate from rotating. It can rotate just a little bit, that's fine. A lot is what we're trying to avoid here. Last time I used 0.3mm shims, sorry, not shims, bevel washers, and you want to install them so the peak of each bevel washer is against each other, and you should have a little gap between there. Right? Those will sit on the compression plate side nut, and you're just going to slide it over the top, trying to keep everything together like that. Now we need to preload these. The way you preload them is you need some M3x40s. So we got M3x30s there, M3x40s, M3x40s. Where are you? M3x40s. You're going to load them from the opposite side. I mean, it'll probably never be as nice as the Inception. Yeah, the Inception vices are all right. I think whoever did the mod, I think it was Craig on the Discord, is the jaws removable? No. The ones that they sent me, I don't remember them being removable. Whoever did the Inception mod to make it a split vise, that's a cool idea. I think that's something that I would probably even sell myself. Because that conversion makes a lot of sense and saves a lot of money too. So, M3x40s on this side. You don't want to tighten anything up yet. You just want to make sure the screw is bottomed out. So these go through from the body side to the compression plate side. On the 3D printed version, it's the other way around. And once it's here, you want to do it one turn at a time in all the diagonal corners in a kind of star pattern until the bevel washers are completely compressed all the way down. You just want to be careful not to tilt the compression plate here, because you can end up bending the end of that T-nut. Sorry, not T-nut, that brass nut. And crushing the threads. There you go. So if you look in there now, the bevel washers themselves are now completely compressed. And you want to make sure at this point that you've put some kind of grease in the threads. So I've just got some lithium grease here. What the Inception is missing is a method for holding round stock like the S&W turret vise. It does have it, you just have to make them yourself. It does have the ability to do it. Right, then you want your lead screw. Now, last time we got really lucky. We were able to screw this all the way through without any issues. Let's see if we get that lucky again. Doesn't look like we got that lucky again. So at this point, I'm actually going to go from the opposite direction. At this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to start loosening up the bolts that were used for the compression. Just 1/4 turn at a time until threads start to line up. So that's starting to get there. There we go. So that's starting to thread in now. You can feel that starting to thread. And before I start doing this any further, I just want to take all these compression bolts out and double check that there is actually enough pressure on the lead screw. Right, so those are all undone now, and I'm going to push it up and down the screw, listen out for any rattle. And there's no movement up and down in the linear direction up and down the screw. So that's now set. That's properly set, and I can just remove these compression screws entirely now. And take the oil off of it. And whilst I'm here, I'm just going to fill this pocket up with grease. That should fill the inside up with grease as well. I mean that the whole system is greased for a while. There we go. How you mill soft jaws or a V-block. That's how you do it. Right, so that's that done. We've got one more, which will be on next stream. I might actually do that as a video for people, so that people can just refer back to it whilst they're doing the build. Oh, you're not tracking me anymore. Something's happening with my overhead camera. Hello? Oh, my overhead camera's completely crapped itself. That's fine, we'll just use this camera for now. I'll get rid of that. How? CAD one that can fit and I will mill it. Why don't you CAD it? It's a V-block, man. It's not the hardest thing to CAD in the world. Your CAD skills are going to need to get better if you want to actually use the mill to its fullest potential. They even have templates that you can use for soft jaws. They even have those on their website. You can literally go on their website and get a reference soft jaw from them. Like, come on, dude. Come on, man. You can do that yourself. It would take 30 seconds in any CAD program once you've imported everything. Right, what are we doing? That's it. I need to take the bearing block off. I need to put the floating bearing block in, actually. I'll do that first. So, floating bearing block can go in. Is the V part that's holding me back not something? It's a V block. You're milling a V. That's it. You're taking half a square, cut it diagonal, and then remove that pit from the soft jaw. That's it. Sorry, man, it's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. It's a V. The angle of the V doesn't even matter. Bud, I am happy to do a bunch of CAD work and stuff, but come on. I'm not doing every little thing for you. I'm not doing a project that could be done by you in 30 seconds. If you want to operate a mill, you need to learn how to do some CAD. Enough said. Check stream gen. Why are you... That's a completely different case. Why are you holding such a large part in a tiny vise? That's a whole completely different problem. Why are you holding such a big part in such a small vise? That's not gonna work. Like, come on, that's just not appropriate. You want to do big part, you need to have big boy stuff, including fixtures and fasteners. Mighty Bites is a good idea, yeah. Oh, I have Kenyan shillings in here. In case anyone wants to know what a Kenyan shilling looks like. I obviously haven't worn these since Christmas. I got grease all over my hands now. It was for the fourth axis. The fourth axis does not need such a big part. And again, you're not going to get away with as bigger parts on the fourth axis. That thing is fucking... If you're thinking of using it on the fourth axis, as in that's a part you're going to be making with the fourth axis, think about it again, man. That's not an appropriate thing to put on such a small fourth axis. That's how you break your machine or break yourself. Neither of those things is something we want. The round CNC is the 120mm round piece. Yeah, but it's not as tall. It's not such a tall part. It's like 20mm thick at most. Come on, man, just be realistic. And with that part that you have there, you're going to be wasting the vast majority of it by milling it down. All of that is going to be turned into chips. That's such a waste of material, I'm sorry. Right, what direction are these going? Oh, you don't need to see Discord anymore. Oh, shut that tab down by accident. I couldn't safely cut it, and I thought I could mill it down. But you're not going to be able to safely mill it down. If you can't safely cut it, you can't safely mill it, then don't think of doing anything with it. You're not holding that part in the size vices that we have for Milo. That's just a recipe for disaster. Alright, what direction does the screw go in? I've noticed Bright doesn't include the rails until like the very last steps in all this. So he doesn't even do the Y rails yet. It was the same with the Z rails. I guess because he wants it all to go down together, doesn't he? I'm sorry, universe. You can't just say, now I know. That's obvious. Like, that's like saying you shouldn't walk in the middle of the road when there's a million cars going past you. Like, sometimes stuff just is a bit... It's obvious enough that I shouldn't have to tell you that. I'm gonna have to guess and say it's that way. thump thump. Ah, gotta do collars. Forgot to do collars. Locking collar and bearing. Be nice if I had a manual to follow. But who follows manuals? Who follows manuals? Oh, great. This is properly stuck. Where's my hammer gone? My hammer got you. There it is. Come on. There we go. Finally. There we go. Right, I need to get a bearing. I need to get a thrust bearing. Thrust bearings are over here. I need to get a locking collar. I need to get it on this side. So locking collar goes on first, then the thrust bearing assembly. So thrust bearing assembly goes on here. And then the bearing block can go back on. I hope I got the orientation of the AB block correct. Go. That's that. That's done. Right. How long have we been streaming for? We have been streaming for 2 hours and 21 minutes. I might call it soon. I know I said I wanted to get at least one axis done every single stream, but this stream's been going on for a very long time, and we did get a little bit sidetracked. So I'm probably just going to put the opposing bearing on here. No, I won't actually, because I'll need to do the motor mount first. I'll get this done. I'll make sure the bolts are in, the last two bolts are in, and then we'll finish up there. Thanks for the lessons. I will see if anyone local can help me cut it. A hacksaw and patience would work. It'll need to be quite a long hacksaw, but yeah, that works. Bandsaw is also a pretty good idea if you know anyone. You can get them. See if there's any local maker spaces around you. It is the risk you take with getting offcuts, though. Like, offcuts are great, but you need to find a use case for them. And that's why I tend to just buy fresh material every single time. Even though the fact is, it's more expensive and I'm poor. It means I end up not wasting any money in the long run because I know exactly what I need and what I want. Right. That's those bolts done. I'm a little underwhelmed at how far we've got on this stream. But hey ho, this is life. Right. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to the stream today. It was a whole lot of fun, as it normally is. Right. We kind of got most of the y-axis done. I'll probably put the rails on off camera, just because you know what rails look like, and I'd like to get a little bit further ahead in this build, but I'll do that off stream. Other than that, I hope you guys all have a fantastic evening, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye all.